to start with the fix and flip side?
Yeah, I'll jump on the fix and flip side. I think that education and research is super, super important. And so we've got a ton of free content that we do with you guys, obviously, at your castle, and teaching a bunch of classes. And then I think it's really important to have as much reserves as possible. I think that also helps give you a little bit of a safety net. So once you've got some education, got some reserves, then you can jump in and get involved. And whether that's on your own, whether that's with a coach or a mentor, there's just a lot of different ways you can get involved from the fix and flip side. But I think it's just getting going, because we can all kind of do analysis paralysis. And if we don't get going, then you're never going to start your career. So it's a matter of prepping, but then at some point you just got to kind of jump in.
What 1 or 2 classes would help someone new to fix and flips get started first, do you think?
Yeah, I think the one that we teach together, which is the fix and flip trends class, we almost call that a one-on-one type of class where you teach the hard data to help people understand why to get into fix and flips, which areas to focus on, which things to avoid. Then we kind of fill in the gaps as far as how to run the systems. So that's a really good one. And then the second one that we teach is a fix and flip live class. So that's the one where we're on site showing people exactly what's going on at individual projects. And that's a great one as kind of it's called a 201, and people can see the nitty gritty of seeing something on a PowerPoint slide of what a structural repair might look like versus seeing it in person. So those 2 classes probably get us started the best, I think.
Okay. Do you cover how to estimate the renovation budget too, and how long it might take, and how do you pick a contractor?
Yeah, that's a really good one. We have that as a 3rd class, and it's kind of that rehab 101. So we've kind of boiled it down to a spreadsheet that's got 2 different sides on the page, and we've got it to a circle and a tally type of calculation so that you can budget a house in about 30, maybe 60 minutes max. So we teach that. We're always kind of having to change our pricing based on material costs.
Always.
So even from one project to the next, we've kind of bumped that up a couple percentage points, just with framing out a basement is exponentially more expensive.
Yeah.
So that's been a really good one. And then after that, we also look at deal analysis. So that's another class that we look at. Could definitely take that one early on, or you could take that one later, because you can get a deal, but if it's not a good deal, you're not going to be in this business long.
So it sounds like you can kind of cover the entire life cycle then.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, for us, it's something that I think the more training we can do, the better. I worked with Chris Lopez and his guys at Envision, which are another subsidiary of your castle, and or another team, I should say. And we did an 8-part podcast series to kind of take people through all the different steps of a fix and flip life cycle. It's an 8-part series, and so if they want to listen to me yammer for 8 hours, then they can do that.
They'd know online. A lot by the end.
They would. It's kind of a nice indoctrination into getting into investing, and then they can take our classes, and then I think really feel like, okay, between working with us and working with you guys, there's a great way to hopefully get involved, whether they want to be maybe specifically an investor, get the real estate license with you guys, do both aspects. I think there's a lot of options.
Cool. Excellent.
Yeah.
Then what I often hear from new investors is that they want to get some buy and hold properties to kind of fund their retirement or help them set up to send their kids to college in 10 years, something like that. But fix and flips are often what they have to do to upfront build the capital they need to buy the rentals. So depending on where you're at, kind of your investor journey, from an investing side, we do a couple classes on how to get started in rentals, how to evaluate a deal, how to estimate the rents, what operating expenses would be normal, what sort of returns might you expect over a longer sort of time horizon. And then we've got some really fun maps that show which parts of the city tend to traditionally have slightly better returns for landlords versus not. And we've got a map like that for fix and flips too, like which neighborhoods tend to do better, although at the moment there's so little inventory, it's tough to pick a neighborhood and say, I want to go buy there, because you just have to buy where you can find something.
Yeah.